Well, we've made it to midweek with this relentless stormy pattern that we're stuck in, but I do think that I see a light at the end of the tunnel, and I actually have good news right off the top here. So, no storms in our area right now, nothing moving our way from the west right now, and the only storms that we have are just some lingering showers from this morning system moving out to the Arklatex. And this morning, of course, we did have some heavy rain in parts of our area. We had that storm system that moved through last night, and then early this morning, just a few showers in the area, a little bit of heavy rain in Navarro County, but really not much. And the other good news is that temperatures are not half bad, 84, 85 degrees out there, below that norm of 88 degrees. And then overnight tonight will be a little bit above normal with that the low of 70 to 71 at that norm of 68. But here's the thing, the dew points don't look as high as they have been. We're talking upper 60s, low 70s instead of upper 70s. So it's actually not going to be quite as bad out there. The other good news is low to medium on your pollen forecast there. So not quite as intense on the allergies too. It sounds like today's actually a pretty decent day here. But unfortunately, I do have to burst the bubble a little bit, bring us back to reality. We do have another disturbance in the panhandle, so we will see storms fire there and make their way our direction. Now, whether they arrive here, whether they make it or not, that's up to the question, and how that affects the next few systems is, again, another question. That's why this week has been so hard to forecast, because you can have storms in the morning that could affect storms in the evening, or you could have no storms in the morning, and that means more storms in the evening. So there's just this domino effect that almost this butterfly effect, if I could say it, that each system kind of affects what the next one could look like. So it's just tough to tell out there exactly what's going to happen. As far as the severe weather threats, more good news is we're not in a severe weather threat for today, but you see off to the west, they are in one there. Now, overnight tonight, we will see another system blow up in the more convection, I should say, more storms blowing up in the panhandle, and will try to make their way here. So we do have and this was actually just updated to where the slight risk was mostly north and west of us, but that has been pulled down. So it looks like maybe there's more confidence in a system moving in probably tomorrow morning. And then looking into Thursday night into Friday morning, we have another system that will be moving through. And again, you can see kind of this similar pattern here of movement, and could see another system moving through. In fact, Friday could be a 1-2 punch. But again, the models are saying there could be one in the morning and then could be one right on its heels in the afternoon. But if the morning system works over the atmosphere enough, then the afternoon wouldn't have much to work with. So again, it's just kind of this folding on to the last pattern and that kind of thing, and just trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen is tough this week, because it's all this depends on this, depends on this, depends on this. So it's just very conditional, but just understand that pretty much for the next few days, we're watching for overnight systems that could bring us showers and thunderstorms each morning here. So we will be watching that, of course, and bringing updates to you. Now, I want to kind of explain the pattern here and explain what I was talking about in terms of that at least possible light at the end of the tunnel. We have this pattern here, and when you watch this, it builds up in the desert southwest, and then it takes this sharp dive. That's what's pulling all these systems down through our area. And you see this this low pressure system there and one there. So you can see one of those is rotating this way, the other one rotating this way. So you can kind of see where that's influencing this flow. Now, what I'm looking at in terms of the models and what they're trying to suggest as far as next week, mid to late week next week, there's high pressure down in Mexico here. And what we usually see in the summer is we see that build up, and then we get this relentless dome of high pressure that just stays here for 3 months. So, what we're seeing in the models, and this is not a guarantee, this is models looking a week and a half, longer out. So, what we are looking at is the possibility that that high pressure could lift on northward, and we could actually see that change our pattern, cut off this monotony here, build in, and bring us drier, warmer weather. Now, the bad news to that is once you get those high pressure ridges in our area in the summer, it gets pretty difficult to make those budge. So the good news is that I'm trying to fight between saying will or would. It would, I don't want to say will. it would, if that holds, kind of break up this pattern and finally get us out of this rut that we're stuck in. But unfortunately, it would probably mean at least a period of warm, dry, summer-like weather. And I think it's an appropriate way to go for June, but time will tell. We'll have to wait and see, but something's got to give. I mean, I know we're all tired of this pattern here, and eventually it will change, and this could be what does it. So stay tuned for updates on that as we get closer. Here's the forecast as we have it right now. 30% chance of storms today. Really, I'm looking at maybe just 1 or 2 in the afternoon popping up. I don't expect much there. Nothing out there now, but as we get to 3, 4, 5 o'clock, yeah, there's enough humidity, there's enough lift. You could have something pop up out there. Breezy east winds with those highs in the mid-80s. Overnight tonight, we'll be watching for that next system. I only have a 40% chance because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of confidence in those moving in, but I have a 40% chance of storms there, so we will be watching that overnight early tomorrow morning. Thursday, another 30% chance, again, kind of the same thing. Could have some storms, could have more lingering from that first system, or could have some afternoon blowing up thunderstorms. Those little popcorn afternoon type thunderstorms, just can't rule those out. Thursday night into Friday, we have another system, and then Friday during the day, I do have a 40% chance, a little bit higher, just in case that system on the heels of that morning convection does actually come to fruition and try to blow through. And then we get into the weekend, looks like maybe a break between Friday and Saturday, but Saturday, we will be looking at the possibility of a few showers and thunderstorms during the day. And then Saturday night, Sunday, another one of these systems could move through, another convective complex, and that could bring more storms. And then Sunday, really just kind of looking at whatever's left from that evening convection. So it's probably limited to the morning. Now, I know Saturday, Sunday is the tour of homes, the Gingerbread Trail tour of homes in Waxahachie. The good news is a lot of that's going to be indoors. There might be some outdoor, but indoors primarily. And I think Saturday, really, we're just looking at a passing shower, thunderstorm or two. Most of that's going to be overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. So I don't think that there will be much to interrupt the tour of homes this weekend. So that's the good news. And then as we look at the beginning of next week, we are warming up. Now Tuesday, I went back and forth between including some showers there. We could see one more round of showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday. Monday looks dry, but Tuesday we could have one more shot at a few thunderstorms, and then beyond that, that's where I'm watching to see if we get that pattern change. So stay tuned. More storms are to come. You'll want to make sure you're tuned into South Metro Weather for that. But we could, in the next few days, be looking at the forecast changing as we get into that longer term period. Will we see the first pattern shift of summer to finally break up this stormy pattern? Stay tuned. I'll bring more updates as we get closer.